great to be here. Let's talk about automation and the future. This is me. By day, I head up decision intelligence at Google. And by night, you'll find me blogging if you're ever interested in checking those things out or seeing some of the further reading from this talk. You can find those resources at the top of my Twitter page right there. But this talk is not about me. Here is my colleague, Paul. And this talk isn't about Paul either. This is Paul's wife's Aunt Dora. And Dora is a computer. Now we know this because it says so in Dora's marriage certificate from 1958. And if you squint really closely at that, you will notice that her husband is listed as an engineer. Yes, my friends, this is one of the earliest cases where a computer has married her engineer. Now, Dora's story is a story of automation. And Dora's work doesn't exist anymore. That multiplying and adding of numbers together professionally as what human computers used to do. In fact, it's now replaced by that supercomputer that you've got in your pocket so that you're taking photos with right now. But what's really important to realize is that we automated some part of what Dora did professionally, some of her tasks. We didn't automate Dora. In fact, all that we did was we created a tool. AI is part of that same tradition. It's the latest step on a journey that humanity has been on since someone first picked up a rock and banged another rock with that rock to make their lives easier. Humanity is a tool-making species. We rebel against drudgery. Whenever there's a way to do something better, we try to do it better. And AI is a tool. It's a tool like any other. And there's this rhetoric of AI being, better than human is better than human. Well, here's the thing, folks. Every tool that sticks around is better than doing it without that tool, better than doing it the normal human way. A hammer is better at banging nails into a wall than my hand is. And a calculator is better than me at multiplying big numbers together quickly. And a bucket's better than me at holding water. So, AI is a tool. What is it a tool for? And the answer is, it's a tool for writing software. In fact, I can imagine a world where no one but computer nerds would be excited by AI. Maybe that would be a world where we would have called it something different, not AI, something like, I prefer a name like thing labeling with examples, if I'm feeling cheeky. But let me show you what AI is actually all about if we're going to try to get to its core and remove some of that glamorous marketing buzz that's around it. So what are computers for? They are for transforming inputs into outputs, yes? Via some instructions or recipe or model, if you're going to give it a fancy name. And in traditional programming, the way that you got that recipe was a human programmer, I know there's programmers in the audience, so you're going to feel me on this. A human programmer would communicate with the universe in some way, yes, that's how you do it. Think really hard about the problem, and then handcraft that recipe. Come up with those instructions and write them down themselves and translate it sort of from their first language, their natural human language, into something that the computer can understand. So that's how it used to be done. With machine learning and AI, here's the key difference. It'll come in one slide. With AI, we don't handcraft those instructions anymore. That recipe, that model comes from somewhere else. We express our wishes, we explain what we want, not with instructions, but with examples. And then it is the algorithm's job to find patterns in those examples and automatically create that recipe. So this is a revolution in writing software. And it is a communication revolution. I want you to see just how powerful this is. You should be excited, but you shouldn't be excited because of all this, humanoid, silvery, chrome-plated robots marketing stuff. You should be excited because of what this actually means. See, we already have these two ways of communicating what we want when we talk to one another, when we teach one another. Like, if I'm playing a video game and I'm being pretty bad at it, one way you could explain to me how to do better is with instructions. You could say, hey Cassie, wait for 3 seconds, then you go through the door, then when you see the boss you hit left 3 times, then you hit spacebar, then you hit right. And as you see me being hopelessly confused by your instructions, you could instead do it with examples. You could say, hey buddy, shift over, watch me do it a few times, and then you'll learn from my examples, from my data, yeah? So we already do this with one another. But in the past, when we talked to computers, we only had one way of saying what we wanted, only with explicit instructions. Machine learning and AI, they unlock that second mode. They let you use examples, and this is so powerful. Especially because for some tasks, you can't come up with those instructions yourself. So how are you going to automate it through instructions? If those instructions are ineffable, if you can't express them, how do you do it? You can't unless you have another approach. Unless you can use examples to automate the ineffable, to automate beyond what humans can express. This is why it's so powerful. Now you can actually get tasks solved and automated that you had a bottleneck for before because maybe you couldn't come up with those instructions. That's okay, you can use data, you can use examples. This is really powerful. And science fiction, I love science fiction. I've been reading science fiction since I was a little kid. I think for a lot of us, we get into tech because we're excited by science fiction. And I want science fiction to stay around because it gets those kids fired up and excited, attracts them to the STEM disciplines. But it is a dangerous distraction here, because if you keep worrying about the poetry there, of all that sci-fi stuff, you might actually miss the danger of what you should worry about when it comes to AI. I think AI has a lot of promise, but there is a danger. Let me show you. You are tempted to talk about technology as autonomous or free from humans, but I wish we would stop using language like that. There is no technology that is free of us. Why? It comes from us, unless it's alien technology, and we don't know about that, yeah? So all technology we have access to, it comes from us, and it is an echo of the wishes of whoever made it. Now the thing about technology, folks, is that it is a lever. And it is a lever for doing more than what you could do without it. But the longer our levers, the more of an impact we can have on the world around us. These things aren't autonomous. There's always a human at the end of that lever. Always a human choosing, always a human directing. And so you've got to start seeing that human side, because the more something scales, and this isn't just AI, this is all technology, the more something scales, the more it matters how responsibly you wield that lever. I mean, think about it. If you suddenly scaled me up and you made me 400 meters tall, it's much easier for me to step on the people around me. And I owe it to everybody to go slower and be more careful and be more responsible. The more technology scales, the more responsible you should be. But this isn't about AI specifically. This is important, and it's an important thing to talk about with AI ethics. In fact, a lot of these AI ethics discussions, they're not actually about AI, they're about technology in general. You don't need AI to change the nature of job markets or disrupt human relationships or create a complex system you can't take back. Please don't do it. Don't do it with or without AI. What is that thing about AI specifically that demands more responsibility from all of us? Let me show you. Say you want to get something done, and it takes 10,000 lines of code to automate it. Some human, maybe not the same human, but some member of our species had to have devoted mental real estate to every single one of those lines of instruction. 10,000 lines written by humans.